It was a typical Tuesday afternoon when I realized something was wrong. I had parked my car in the garage, locked it, and left for a few errands. When I returned, I noticed that my lock was broken. At first, I thought maybe someone had tried to break in, but when I walked closer, I saw a note taped to the door: Karen from HOA. Your lock was an obstruction. I immediately knew what had happened. Karen, the HOA president, had a notorious reputation for micromanaging everything in our building, from parking spaces to paint colors. But this was beyond ridiculous. My lock had been cut without my permission, and my personal property was tampered with. I quickly called Karen, demanding an explanation. Why did you cut my lock? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She answered with a smug tone. It was obstructing the HOA's plans for the garage. The board decided to make some changes, and your lock was in the way. You'll thank me later. I was fuming. No one had asked me about this supposed change, and I had every right to secure my space. But it got worse. I opened the garage door and stepped inside, only to be greeted by a swarm of mosquitoes. It was like stepping into a scene from a horror movie. The garage, which had once been clean and well-kept, was now infested with hundreds of the pests. I quickly realized that the cutting of the lock had disrupted the ventilation, trapping the mosquitoes inside. My first instinct was to grab my phone and take a picture of the chaos so I could prove what had happened. But the next thing I knew, Karen had walked into the garage to check on her work. As she stepped through the door, the mosquitoes descended upon her in a cloud. It didn't take long for her to start swatting and flailing her arms, trying to escape the relentless buzzing and biting. I couldn't help but feel a small sense of satisfaction as I watched her struggle. It was as though the universe had given her a little taste of her own medicine. After a few frantic moments, Karen rushed out, her face beet red from both the bites and the embarrassment. She muttered something about fixing it later and hurried off, leaving me alone in the garage with my lock, now secure again. The whole ordeal left me shaking my head in disbelief. Karen learned that day not to mess with people's personal space or their locks. And as for me, I made sure to get a new unbreakable lock and a mosquito repellent device.